Usually when people choose partners, if they're interested in spirituality, they, pay attention to the spiritual side. When they choose, when they're towards the material end and they're interested in the material side, so they emphasize that. When we awaken to our higher soul frequency, we understand that partnership is a part of our soul journey, the part of our healing process, and the parts of our, or kind of the means for us to dissolve our karmic residue so that we can evolve further. But when we look at the partnerships, we have to understand that when we awaken to our higher frequency, we understand our being better. We understand our also being from the standpoint of our inclinations and distortions. And so we have to, when we attract someone, we have to look from the standpoint of our soul frequency and how is our soul attracted to this person. And that attraction, that soul connection is kind of an unconditional. But at the same time, when you are balanced within, you understand that only the spiritual side of the relationship is not going to sustain the relationship, because we're living in this material world and it's important to find balance. When someone says that they're spiritually evolved, they're evolving, but yet they're struggling on the practical side, on the financial side, it shows that they are disorganized on some level. Because when the person is truly spiritually evolved, they're abundant, because this spiritual abundance manifests in their physical material abundance as well. I'm not speaking about wealth or super richness. I mean they're comfortable. It means they're aligned and they're in a balanced state. When someone says or claims that they're spiritually evolved and that they're constantly struggling on the practical financial side, it means something is off. There is some disorganization within their being which manifests on their inability to build their life properly on a proper foundation. The foundation is always at higher frequency, but that higher frequency and proper alignment with that higher frequency has to help one to heal one's corruption, even if this corruption applies to the way they manage financial side of their life or practical side of their life, because it means that somewhere there are certain subtle misconceptions or ideas that maybe are impediments within that person, or emotional issues which do not allow them to express themselves openly, truthfully, and live their life through the natural and open self-expression. So in this case, these people will struggle financially. And so when you look, if you are balanced yourself and healed, and you look for a relationship, you look for the same balance. And when I use the word look for, it doesn't mean that you actively are looking for anything. But whatever you attract, you will look at that from the standpoint of your soul and the balance that you're in. And if you see that imbalance in someone else, you have to see where your presence is able to help them dissolve that issue, so that they can also balance within themselves and contribute with that balance to your mutual relationship. Or this is something that they still have to work on within themselves, by themselves. So again, it will be defined by the level of your awareness and wisdom when you deal with these kind of relationships where the person is spiritually inclined, but someone is messy, financially unstable, or even broke, or the way they deal with life. Because many times people are financially unstable or broke because they make wrong decisions, and yet they don't want to be accountable for it. They don't want to feel responsible. They want to still feel like a victim, or resist life, or resist proper, the way that could bring them abundance, because of whatever misconception and ego. So it already shows that even if on a superficial level these people have that supposedly spiritual inclination, they still have that, you know, unrefined individual being, those limitations that they not only refuse to become aware of or admit to themselves, but they refuse to heal and dissolve because they choose to be right. So that kind of spirituality together with the righteousness becomes more of an obstruction in this person's life and can become an obstruction in your mutual relationship, because there will be then power struggles and imbalances. So when we speak about spiritual evolution and healing, we speak about this aspects of reality from both levels, the material and the spiritual being in alignment, in balance, not just living life through extremes, either being completely focused on material possessions and ambitions, or just completely escaping into the realm of thoughts and imagination and kind of spiritual escapism. So the reality of life is in between. And we always have to remember this, especially when we speak about balanced relationships based on true love. Because if there is true love, there will be humility, there will be equal give and take, there will be an equal give and take on all the levels, especially emotional, spiritual, mental, when both people are involved equally, and commitment, or meaning lack of commitment, is out of question. Commitment is there naturally, it's the foundation. Because commitment is the result of higher frequency of love. Because when love is not there, all the other aspects of life will start creating discontentment, conflict, and may push the relationship to the breaking point. And so when people say, oh, I'm so attracted to this person, their soul is so beautiful, they're, you know, very inclined spiritually, but they're broke, they have nothing, they don't know. Well, if the person is balanced and spiritually awakened, they will try to balance their lives no matter what, taking their spiritual awareness and wisdom to heal themselves, to align themselves, to tap into their creative being, to restore their natural self-expression, courage, and to see life clearer. And this clarity cannot lead to anything but also a material abundance, because clarity is a spiritual abundance. So if they are still somewhere on the shadow side, or perceive their life as a victim, you cannot take responsibility, or shouldn't take responsibility for their shadow work or for their inner healing. They themselves have to realize the importance of that and look within and try to let go of their maybe inability to communicate, or inability to self-express, or inability to speak their truth, or inability to maybe be patient, or inability to make right decisions. So you may always try to give people advice, but especially if they ask for it, but you cannot take responsibility for other people or save them, because that would mean that you are not in a highly evolved form of relationship. Again, the karmic side of the relationship, the karmic side means the unrefined side of themselves, them, and the shadow side of them will take over the relationship. And of course, people can still refine themselves while being in a high commitment. And when the high frequency is prevalent, they can go through whatever karmic residue that can appear as an obstacle in their relationship. But the relationship has to be moving towards the dissolution of these obstacles rather than to stagnate. Because with a higher frequency, or being connected to the higher frequency, to the higher soul frequency within ourselves and with the other, we ensure the longevity of that relationship, because that relationship would live on no matter the obstacles. People will still come to compromising because the higher frequency, the energy of gratitude, humility, uh, you know, generosity, desire to work in a relationship will prevail, will help these people to overcome their shadows and their unresolved karmic residue. But if that foundation of high frequency is not there, and if there is spiritual narcissism and there is no actual spirituality, which means the alignment with the higher frequency, but it's just like a spiritual delusion, and one is deluded to believe that this relationship is actually spiritual, and yet this is purely karmic relationship. So then you will not be able to save this relationship, because the relationship does not have that higher foundation, which is higher frequency of love, that is natural commitment, natural dedication, natural humility, sacrifice, give and take in an equal proportion, but more like an unconditional desire to give, because the frequency of love pushes us to give. So if you see the person is stagnating and you are there giving, and then your giving will ruin the relationship, because their lack of giving will also bring you to the breaking point where you will feel deep emotional, mental, and even spiritual dissatisfaction. And the attraction on the physical level obviously will wane away. So again, in order for any relationship to sustain itself, whether in the name of spirituality or just love, it has to be based on a higher frequency. Then it ensures longevity. If it's based on some practicality or narcissism, validation of self, codependency, comfort, material side in whichever form, or some kind of an emotional traumatic codependency, such relationship will sooner or later dissolve, reach the breaking point, because one of the partners will maybe progress further, the frequency will change, and because of mismatch of frequencies, the relationship will break. Whatever keeps the relationship alive is the frequency. Now, the highest of all frequencies is love. So if you are connected on the level of love, you ensure longevity, and you may go through whatever karmic challenges and difficulties. If that is not there, the relationship is based on an improper foundation, which is of illusory nature, and sooner or later, whether you were mentally connected, emotionally, or practically, materially, it will sooner or later change, because circumstances will change, and you will no longer be attracted to each other. The physical vehicle will change as well. The way you maybe see the world may change. And so if the basis of relationship was that, because of the change, the relationship will come to an end. And so most of the relationships, which are almost everyone, is based on anything else but love, that high frequency of love. And that's why I'll put the video on high frequency of love at the end of this video, so you can see it. And because of that, there's no proper foundation. Foundation is our consciousness, and if consciousness is not connected to its higher frequency, it will look for the satisfaction on lower levels, but lower levels are transitory. Transitory means they don't have enough energy to sustain it for long. Sometimes, yeah, relationships can be sustained for long, for a lifetime, but they're somewhat more of a struggle and adjustment and acceptance rather than real love. And so even if people choose to stay together, they're never happy fully. That's why the relationship becomes somewhat of a draining nature. There are, of course, exceptions, but they are very, very few. Thank you very much for watching, and like, subscribe, and if you appreciate the content, you may always donate through the thanks button. Thank you.